guys? Welcome back to the Jenks Island podcast, the only NFL podcast where you get your takes from a washed-up Division III cornerback. I'm your host, Grayson Jenkins, joined again by my good friends and co-hosts, Ty McGee and Ethan Sterbus. In today's episode, we're breaking down our Week 6 picks, breaking down Week 6 slate, breaking down the games, getting into all of those. And before we get into all of that, I just want to say this real quick.
Officially turned around, guys. We are back, baby. We are fucking back. We're back. Classic.
For all the listeners out there, it was the hangover clip with the Saints and the Broncos and Sean Payton. Saints get their first win of the season, so Sterb and I are pretty happy about that. Broncos, obviously, they're getting their groove back, obviously beating the Eagles. But let's get into this Week 6 slate. Let's talk about the leaders here first. At number 1, we've got ESPN. What a lame name. No name is kind of – I don't know if I can give you the jersey if you don't got a name. That's so unoriginal. Anyways. In second, Ty is tied for second at 53-24 with King Raw, and the Penix Fluffer is still up there at the top of the list. Epstein's client list is at 52-24. Maybe if they come in first, the list gets released. Who knows? At sixth, we got Cliff and a couple other guys at 51-26. We got Cooper at 50-27, and then Hammer and I are tied at 14th at 48-29. And Sterb is down here at 20th, tied for 20th at 46-31. So
the caboose.
There's a good amount of variety here, but I think a lot could shift every week here because last week there was a big amount of I lost a good amount of games last week. It was pretty rough for me. Ty moved up the leaderboard a significant amount. So things change every week. But Week 6, let's break down this slate. Starting off with the Thursday night football game, we got the Eagles taking on the Giants. There was some talk about Saquon Barkley being possibly out for this game, but he's going to be in. Jalen Carter was a late addition to the injury report today. Limited practice, but I have a feeling he's still going to play. And then the Giants, they're out Darius Slayton. So Giants obviously just went into the Superdome, had 5 turnovers, and sort of got belt-assed by the Saints, which is not something you want to see as a Giants fan, right? Spencer Rattler was 0-10, gets his first win against you. And then the Eagles on the other side, they go into the game against the Broncos undefeated, get their first loss. So both of these teams looking to bounce back from last week. The Eagles are a significantly better team roster-wise. Their offense is struggling right now. I don't think that they've been able to get the run game like they would like to with Saquon Barkley. Their passing game, right? A.J. Brown, I believe he had 5 catches and less than 50 yards, if I want to say. I think that's where he was at. And he had one where he slowed down on a stop and go route. So kind of a double move, slowed down at the top of it, even though he's already past the secondary. And I don't know if that's him doubting that Jalen Hurts saw him or if he just wasn't really like, I just don't really care. But he stopped running. The ball got thrown to him. He was open. Could have been a touchdown. Wasn't. And the Broncos won the game. And then at the end of the game, just got to shout this out too. He kind of broke up the pass with Devontae Smith on the Hail Mary. It wasn't his fault. I don't think there was going to be caught either way. But it was funny seeing him and Devontae Smith simultaneously grab the ball and then drop it. So that was a funny moment in that one. I do have the Eagles here winning. The Giants just aren't a good enough team to beat them, I don't think. But the Giants could slow down their offense just with the way their offense is playing. Ty, who do you got in this one?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Philly too. With the way that the Giants are playing, I still think Philly's one of the elite teams in the NFL. So I'm going to go with Philly.
Sterb? You're muted, Sterb.
You're muted.
No.
Yeah, I'm going Philly as well. Just can't trust the Giants at this point in time. And, Philly's been showing that they're struggling on offense, but versus the Giants defense that really their only strength is their D-line, I'm expecting a bit of a bounce back.
Yeah, they should definitely be able to bounce back in this one. Moving on to the London game, Ty, you got to be up and early eating your what was it?
My Golden Grams.
Golden Grams, that's what it was, right? And for the 9:30 slate for the London game, the Broncos taking on the Jets. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, Denver, obviously a huge win last week against Philly. Jim Nantz kind of called it one of those monumental wins for this team, kind of sending us in a different direction. And, going against a Jets team that it really lacks direction right now, right? They obviously don't have a win yet. They look very sloppy, very undisciplined. Aaron Glenn has not been able to kind of bring in, all the things that they did so well in Detroit. Give them a little bit of time, but they just haven't looked great. Even last week, right? Like their offense, it looked like they were kind of rolling. Obviously, they're playing a bad defense in Dallas, but their defense just gets slaughtered, which is shocking from this Jets team, right? Like they had a really good defense under Rob Saleh. Aaron Glenn's a really good defensive mind. And, they kind of he inherited a very similar defensive roster. So I'm just very confused what's going on over there in New York. I don't know if Aaron Glenn just needs to settle in as a head coach, if he's not a good head coach, if it's just the dysfunctional nature of the Jets, but it does not bode well for them to have to A, travel to London, and then B, go up against a Denver team that just beat the defending Super Bowl champs who were undefeated at the time. So I think Denver kind of figured out in that fourth quarter, like what their identity should be, right? It should be to run the football, right? That's the Sean Payton way, is start with the run game, especially with the way that JK is playing right now, sprinkle in some RJ Harvey. And that's going to open up so much for Bo Nix. And I think it just made the offense a lot more comfortable, right? Like they came out slinging early and Bo hit, he hit Cortland Sutton on a great ball down the sideline on third down. And Cortland Sutton just drops it, right? And it just feels like, the way that they started the game and the way that they started offensively, they just couldn't get in a rhythm. They couldn't, they had no identity. And I think in that fourth quarter, like I said, they established their identity, run the football, run the play action game off of it. And you saw, guys like Evan Ingram start to, make an impact. And so I hope that they bring that coming into this game. And then obviously defensively, right? Nick Bonito looks like defensive player of the year. He's on pace for 24 sacks. It's absolutely absurd. 2.5 sacks against one of the best offensive lines in football. And just across the board, really good defensive game. So I think this is pretty easy for me. I mean, even if I wasn't a Denver Broncos fan, I don't think many people are taking the New York Jets here. So I'm gonna eat my Golden Grams. I'm gonna watch my Broncos win and enjoy the rest of my day starting at 11 o'clock.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm going to pick the Broncos here too. Nothing else to add. I will say Nick Bonito is the leader. Second place should be Carl Granderson. He got robbed of a sack. He would be at 5.5 right now if it weren't for the roughing the passer. But I got the Broncos as well. Sterb, who do you got?
Yeah, I think there's no way that the Broncos lose this game. Like last game, the offense started out a bit slow, like Ty mentioned, but there was some meat left on the bone. The Broncos offense, you had a near miss to Sherfield, I believe. You had that drop from Sutton. There's still room for a ceiling for this Broncos offense. And Cortland Sutton and Nick Bonito, I mentioned this past week in the group chat, I love watching them play. If Cortland Sutton was on my team, I'd be talking y'all's ears off about it, and we'd be having some uncomfortable conversations about where he ranks. But there's no way that the Jets can win this game. I'm sorry.
It'll be tough. It'll be tough for him. I mean, Aaron Glenn, if you lose this one really, really badly, there's talks about him getting fired mid-season, and as a first-year head coach like that, it's a terrible.
You got to give him a chance, man.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen. I don't think they will fire him in one season, but it's a really bad look for big shotting Aaron Rodgers, right? Going into a meeting with them, being like, yeah, you're not good enough for this team, kicking him out basically, and then this just the way it's played out is a rough look. Anyways, moving on to the Rams taking on the Ravens, a game that before the season started, you get the schedule release. This looks like a really, really good game. And now all of a sudden, this looks like a game where the Rams are fighting right to still for playoff position. And the Ravens, it could be a kill shot for them as far as playoff hopes go. I mean, it's still too early for that, but it would really, really hurt their chances. Sterb, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, unfortunately for where the Ravens are at in the season, I do think they lose this game. I mean, we saw this past week, they just got absolutely demolished by Houston, who looked like one of the most underwhelming teams of the season so far. And Cooper Rush against this defensive line, I really think it's going to get very ugly very fast. And they added some safety help. They traded Odafe away for Alohi Gilman. I don't really think that's necessarily a good trade. Maybe for when everyone's coming back and healthy, you get some safety play, and then you can kind of free up what you do with Kyle Hamilton. But it's kind of it's like plugging a hole on a boat, but you're using part of another part of the boat to do that. You're still sinking. And then we saw LA lose to a backup quarterback and a B squad essentially. And I know some people may think that oh yeah, they can do it again or whatever, but I really think John Harbaugh and Kyle Shanahan are on different tiers of coaching at this point. And like that said more to me about San Francisco's offense, Kyle Shanahan, than it did like this Rams defense and what they are. We knew they were like a not great secondary, a young secondary. And it feels like they kind of just got taken advantage of, not necessarily that they got exposed, but like evidently the Ravens are just outmatched at this point. Like without Lamar, without like all of their defense, pretty much. This is probably like a bottom 5 team in football as we stand here today, and that sucks, But it's just how it is. So I'm going with the Rams here.
Yeah, I mean it's similar injury wise to the 49ers and Saints seasons last year, where you're just like there was a certain point where you're just like there's no coming back. So I'm gonna go with the Chargers or the Rams here as well. Wrong LA team. I'm gonna go with the Rams here as well. Just I don't think the Ravens really have a shot, which sucks. Ty, who do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Rams too. The only way that the Ravens have a chance is if they give Derrick Henry more than 15 carries with a backup quarterback in. For some reason, they seem reluctant to do so. So I'm going to go with the Rams.
Yeah, they were one of the lowest teams in first and second, like just giving the running back the ball. Like they're one of the lowest teams right now.
And when they do it, they're one of the best. It's insane.
And yet they just choose not to. But it should be fireable. But I think Harbaugh, if depending on how this season plays out, I think he gets at least another year. But there's some conversations to be had about Harbaugh in Baltimore. Moving on to the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Charlotte Panthers, the Carolina Panthers in Charlotte. The Panthers here coming out of a win, a comeback win over the Dolphins. The Cowboys obviously just put belt to ass over the Jets. And the Cowboys are playing really, really well on offense right now, even without CeeDee Lamb. The Cowboys, Dak Prescott is looking like a possible MVP candidate. And that's kind of what people were talking about prior to the season, right? And it was mainly because he got both weapons of CeeDee and Pickens, George Pickens. But here you're looking at him without CeeDee, right? CeeDee goes out and he's still playing at that MVP level. And that's something even more impressive than having both of them. That's putting him in that MVP conversation. On the other side, you got the Panthers. Rico Dowdle just went off for more than 200 yards against the Miami Dolphins. And this is a Cowboys team that it's decent against the run, but it's not a run stopping team. Their defense isn't great by any means. So the Panthers could look to add more points on the board through Rico Dowdle. I think the Cowboys are going to be able to win this game. And I'll say this really quick. I know this is going to get some hate, but thank God I don't have to hear something like this during the
Handoff on second down. Look at this! Dowdle still on his feet!
I can't stand it. I can't. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to get hate for it. Eric Collins does not deserve to be calling any NFL. Okay, maybe the low-level games every week. I'm fine with that. But his voice...
What's more low-level than his past game, though?
This is true.
It doesn't get any lower than Dolphins Panthers week 5.
You could add some excitement to the Panthers Cowboys, just throwing maybe deep balls to T-Mac or Pickens in this one. But I just think his voice isn't suited for the NFL at the way he screams. All right. I get like if you have a deep, cool voice, right? That's like an announcer's voice. When you have I'm going to be honest, I'm not even trying to hate, like a prepubescent like yell. Like it's not great. Okay. It's not great for a product when I'm trying to listen on my surround sound speakers on my big screen TV. It's not what I want to look for anyways, it's my dad set it up. He's a nerd for all that. Anyways, I do have the Cowboys winning this one. What are your guys' thoughts? You got the Panthers maybe upset here?
Nah, I mean the Rico Dowdle revenge game. I don't think it's gonna.
There's a storyline.
I'm gonna go with Dallas. I think Dallas's offense is way better than Carolina's, and even though these defenses are both bad, I think Dallas has the ability to just win in a scoring match. So I'm gonna go with Dallas.
Sterb, you got same team?
Yeah, I got Dallas here. I think the only chance that Carolina has is if they score on every single drive, because I genuinely think that Dallas is going to score on every single drive. So, I mean, they're just not going to do that. So I'm picking Dallas.
Yeah, I think you have to. It would be shocking. It would be really good, like turnaround for the Panthers. It could be, maybe they could do something this season if they start beating teams like this. But anyways, moving on to the Cardinals taking on the Colts. Ty, obviously there's some shit going down in Arizona right now. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the whole situation surrounding Mary DeMarcado and Jonathan Gannon is the hot button topic right now, and it's not a great look when your quarterback is screaming and hitting your third string running back. So there's a lot of chaos going on over there. Kyler Murray a little banged up. I don't think he practiced today. I mean, I would imagine that maybe he would go, but even if he does go, right, they're running into a buzzsaw in Indianapolis right now. I mean, to be fair, they did play the Raiders, but like that defense and that offense, what they were able to do to the Raiders last week was like, I mean, it was shocking. I didn't imagine a 40-6 ball game, right? Like, the defense obviously rolled, but Jonathan Taylor, he continues to be the X factor on this offense and the true bell cow. And
Yep.
he makes, Daniel Jones is playing at a top 10 level right now for me, and I think he's playing phenomenally. But if he doesn't have a guy like Jonathan Taylor, like who knows? Because you just know that like teams have to stack the box, and he still finds a way to score 3 touchdowns and run for 150 yards against you. And he's a weapon in the pass game, right? Like, you could just, dunk it down to him and he's going to go for 30 yards every now and then. So, Indianapolis is just the hot team right now, and Arizona seems to have some dysfunctionality within their organization. I mean, to be fair, Jonathan Gannon did apologize. It seemed very, real and sympathetic, and he talked to the team before he talked to the media. So I think it was just a spur of the moment, like pissed off, like type of thing, but it's still unacceptable, and that stuff trickles down throughout your organization. Arizona has found a way to keep themselves in a lot of close games. All 3 of their losses were very, very close games against some good teams, right? Seattle, San Francisco, but the falling apart like they did last week against the Titans. I mean, Jenks, you brought it up earlier before we hopped on, like the interception off the fumble, right? It just seems like, or the fumble off the interception, whatever the hell it was. It just seems like everything is raveling out of control for this team. And I don't think that's, if they want to get back on track, it's not against a team like Indianapolis. So I'm going to go with Indianapolis because I just think they're better as an organization right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Colts here too. And just talking about like, the Amari DeMarcado situation. That's the first time like I've actually ever seen like the coach on the sideline actually visibly like get upset with the players that I've noticed, at least, that when the players go and fumble at the goal line. There's never been like a serious like reaction or punishment for any of these guys. Have never been cut. Like it's just like something I want to see more. I don't want to see obviously players get hit, but like maybe just yell at them. Like I just want to see a guy just scream the shit out of the player that fumbles the ball at the end zone, because you are paid millions of dollars. Just run in the end zone. Just celebrate once you're in there. It just doesn't make any sense, and we've seen it twice already this year. So it's just crazy that it keeps happening. Anyways, Sterb, you going with the Colts here too?
Yeah, I'm riding with the Colts here. This is we should have one more win, but we fumbled into the end zone bowl.
Yep.
I honestly I don't know. This may be reactionary, but I don't really want to talk about the Cardinals like at all this season. Like the season, I'm so done. And I like some of the pieces that they have. Like we like Will Johnson. We think Kyler Murray's at least like a mid-level quarterback, but like I'm so done with this team. I can't talk anymore.
It hurts Ty and I. This was our team last year. Our frisky darling. But yeah,
and they've no been frisky this year. But then what are you doing last week?
This is like I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Yeah, like, that's how I feel about the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's just they are disappointing. It's just what they are. Because I mean, people had hope for them, right? And they've let everyone down. Moving on to a fun one here. You got the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ty, Sterb, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this one's going to be a fun one. Grab your popcorn or your Golden Grahams if you're Ty. Maybe a mid-afternoon snack here. This is like really, I think it's really going to come down to like a turnover battle and like these quarterbacks eliminating mistakes. Because like down to down consistency, Sam Darnold has been playing at like a top 5 level this season when you look at pretty much any stat. But his like the one knock you can have on him is that he's had turnovers and high leverage moments, which, last week he had the pick to kind of seal the game. But I don't really weigh that too much on him because, he was the big, reason why they got to 35 points in the first place. And you just played a better offense that day. And then you happen to throw a pick at the end. I don't really hold it against him too much.
That pick also like bounced off a guy's shoulder pads, kind of bounced directly.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really like put that loss on him. He's playing amazing right now. Like honestly, like I said, he's playing at like a top 5 level. Trevor Lawrence is not. He's been like incredibly up and down, like circus show type of quarterback where it's like you truly do not know what you're going to get from him on a down-to-down basis, unlike Darnold. But like the big knock with both of them, even if they're playing at completely different levels, is that, the negative play avoidance. So I really think that this is going to come down to turnovers, and Seattle's defense is banged up right now. And then Jacksonville's defense has been the best opportunistic defense in the league right now. Like if you just look at like fantasy, I think they're the number 1 defense in fantasy just because of all the turnovers. Devin Lloyd's being a dog this year. Like they have so many cogs of that defense firing at all levels. And I really just think it's going to come down to like which one of these teams gets that crucial turnover in the fourth quarter. And at this point, like with Seattle's defense being banged up and Jacksonville's defense, just continuing to show that they're going to force 2 or 3 turnovers every week, I'm going to pick Jacksonville here, but I do think this is going to be a very close game.
Ty, who do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Seattle. I think for me, it comes down to quarterback versus quarterback here, and I just trust Sam way more than I trust Trevor Lawrence right now. I can't trust a guy who throws the ball when he's 3 yards past the line of scrimmage and has like a 5-yard gain. That was the worst illegal forward pass I think I've ever seen.
He did that the week before too, I believe.
Yeah, he's done it multiple times.
It's insane.
It's tough, but yeah, I like Seattle here, so I'm going to go with the Seahawks.
Yeah, I like it. Ty, I'm going to go with the Seahawks here too. I just think, like you said, the quarterback's better. And I think the offensive scheming is a little bit better too. We've seen the receiver usage be a little bit weird in Jacksonville. No thanks to Shane Waldron. But I think that the Seattle Seahawks will be able to win this one. I think JSN's playing at a ridiculous level and they'll be able to get involved. And I think the Seahawks will pull this one out. But it'll be a good game. Really good game to watch.
Wait, can I say my catchphrase? If you guys are zigging, I'm jagging.
It's been the catchphrase all year. We love it. We love it. If you guys in the comments, if you guys are sporting Sterb, say it down below. Say
my girlfriend just said yikes in the background.
Oh God. That's never good.
An ick has appeared in the apartment. Anyways, moving on to the Chargers taking on the Dolphins. The Dolphins, obviously, they just choked away another big game. And it's just a rough watch right now for Miami fans out there. This team, they can't quite figure out how to pull out wins. And obviously, they did beat the Jets, but it's the Jets. Like it's just not impressive, right? You're not like, oh, they beat the Jets. Justin Fields led Jets. Yeah, you're not impressed by it. The Chargers on the other side have been losing games, and it's no fault to Herbert, right? He hasn't been playing like well, but it's not really his situation isn't great. You're down possibly three out of your 5 starting linemen this week on offense. You're down Omarion Hampton. You're down, I think it's Hassan Haskins and
Haskins
and Vidal. So those 2 guys, maybe they're able to steady the ship in the run game a little bit. Maybe they're going to be solid, average running backs for you. That's kind of what you got to hope for. The receiver room is still really good. You're still solid at receiver. It's just that O-line. It's been really rough. And Sterb sent to the group chat as well. Like there was a moment, right, where there's 2 second down and longs, extremely long, not just 2nd and 12, it was like a 19 and a 23. And 19. Yeah, something ridiculous. Converted both of them, Justin Herbert, and they were both called back for penalties. So we say that the Chargers charger, right? That was a saying for however many years when they just couldn't win games. And it's starting to occur again, right? They're usually the team that lets us down at the start of the season. We know right away that the Chargers, they're not like the hype has built them up to be. This year, they built up hypes to start the season, and now it's sort of crashing down a little bit. But again, the injuries haven't helped there at all. I think the Chargers will be able to win this one. I just don't see the Dolphins being a good enough team. Their defense isn't too strong where it's like, oh, this 3 out of 5 down O-line is going to be overpowered by them. I just don't see that happening. They will be able to get pressure, but it's not something you're extremely worried about for this one. So I'm going to go to the Chargers here. I think Justin Herbert bounces back a little bit. And maybe maybe lay off of the Madison beer a little bit, Justin Herbert. Relax a little bit. I know she's one of the top whatever women in the world right now, and as far as men's attention, but like, come on, lay away for a little bit. You can wait. I'm not going to say the saying that was said on at Muhlenberg for before game days, but come on, let's relax, Justin, and focus on the game. Focus on the football game. Anyways, what do you guys got in this one?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chargers here too. I just don't think Miami has any chance in this game, even with the Chargers being so banged up offensively. But the biggest concern for me right now is like the Chargers defense. Like last game, they did not look great against the Commanders. I know they added Adelphi Yahweh, but Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt finally had a good game, and it's against a defense that's supposed to be a really good defense. Like it's just a little concerning. I mean, I know the Commanders have a good offense, obviously, but they were down some guys too, and so let's see how they perform against a Miami offense that has looked pretty good the past couple of weeks. I mean, despite them not being able to close games and playing bad opponents, but they've at least been they scored a lot against New England as well. So a little bit of room for concern with the defense there, more so than the offense, just because that it's a health issue.
Shout out to ex-rapper Darren Waller, because that's what he's known for, his rapping. He's known for his rapping. Anyways, Sterb, who do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chargers here, but like, it really has to do with like Miami's D-line not playing that well. Like, I forget what they're called. I think it's called like the decision chart or like a decision flow sheet. It's like, if you're playing the Chargers, are you going to win? Do you have a good D-line? Yes, no. And if it's yes, then you're going to win the game. Like that's really as simple as it gets. Or if you have like a middle of the line D-line, like the Commanders did last week. Because like Justin Herbert, I think he's been pressured. Like I think it's like I think I have it written down. Yeah, he's been pressured 81 times in the past 3 weeks, and
not where you want to be.
Josh Allen, all of last season, was pressured 80 times. For reference, 81 times in 3 weeks. You just can't. You can't win a game like that.
Von Miller's the lead pass rusher in fucking Washington.
Yeah. Von Miller had a vintage game. He did have a vintage game.
Like Trey Pipkins filled in for Joe Walt, who filled in for Rashawn Slater, and now Trey Pipkins is out. And like their best O-lineman was like Bradley Bozeman. And I know some Chargers fans, and they want absolutely nothing to do with Bradley Bozeman. And when they signed him back this offseason, they're like, why would we ever sign him? And it's to the point where like he was supposed to be the best part of this O-line last week, and now he's getting benched. So like literally the worst offensive line you can think of. Like this is worse than the Titans. It's in a tier of its own right now. And like I do feel like a bit bad for the Chargers and like the Chargers defense. Because like if you get down, there's no way this defense can like play you back into games, because they're just going to run the ball on you. And the Commanders have a good run offense, obviously. So Miami, like defensive line, really not that great, not as great as it's supposed to be, and that's why I'm going the Chargers in this one. But it's whatever.
I think this game could be close. It could be a closer one, but I think the Chargers do pull it out. Moving on to the Browns taking on the Steelers. Ty, who do you got in this one?
Yeah, obviously Dylan Gabriel looked pretty good last week in his first start against a really good Minnesota defense in London too, right? I had to do all that travel. But I don't know, man. I was thinking about the Browns because I liked how Gabriel played. They were in that game, and defensively they looked really good. And obviously they let up that last drive at the end that ended up, letting Minnesota win the football game. But Pittsburgh, just something about them right now, right? Like they haven't looked fantastic in any game. They found ways to win, right? They're obviously the best team in the AFC North right now by a long shot.
Crazy.
But I'm confident. That? Right. Did you call that?
No.
Oh, okay. Anyways,
no,
I thought you were nodding something there. Anyways, I just think I think they kind of figured something out with DK Metcalf. We saw it in Dublin. Moving him around, putting him in the slot, putting him in other places other than just the X receiver really got him open. And, the Steelers' way would be to just go back to, putting him at the X and not moving him around. And then he doesn't get as many looks, but I don't know. Something about me makes me think, okay, maybe they unlock something here with DK Metcalf. And then also, Kenneth Gainwell had a really, really good game.
Mhm.
They get Jalen Warren back. Like, do they mix it up, or do they just go with Jalen Warren? Like, are we going to have the same old Steelers where they just look like they figured something out and then they actually didn't, and they just go back to, doing stupid shit, or what are we going to get? And I have some faith in them. And, Rodgers is playing at a pretty high level right now. I wouldn't say like, he's out of this world, but he's playing pretty well. So I'm going to go with the Steelers here. I think it's going to be a really close game. I mean, Cleveland has just, like I said, found ways to keep themselves in most games outside of the Baltimore game. I would not be shocked at all if Dylan Gabriel was able to do it, but Mike Tomlin on the team against a rookie quarterback, I'm gonna go with the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Steelers here too. I think their defense has improved almost every week that they've played so far, and I think they're the better team on offense. Defense, you could say the Browns could be better, but I think they're pretty close in that respect as well. So I go with the Steelers here. Sterb, anything to add? Or are you taking the Steelers here as well?
I think me being like down in the standings, this may be a dumb thing to do, but like anytime there's variability and like I feel in a game where it's like either way it could go. I'm probably, if it involves Cleveland, it's like the same like decision tree for me, where it's like, is Myles Garrett playing a mobile quarterback or not? And if it's no, then I think it makes sense for me to pick the Browns for where I'm at in the standings. And that may be stupid. I don't know. That's probably why I'm at the bottom of the leaderboard. But I'm still like not quite bought in on the Steelers defense. And I know this Browns team, like I know I took shots at them like all offseason. I was like, how is this team going to win more than 2 games? But like pretty much every single rookie is looking like they're paying off at their value. It is a very, very good class. I'm extremely impressed. Quinshon Judkins, I believe, is like he's like 5th in like rushing yards over expectation per attempt. He looks like a dog, and he had like a long touchdown run this past week that got called back, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, pretty much it's just like is the best player in the world for my money at their position playing against a non-mobile quarterback, and if that's yes, then I'm probably just going to pick the Browns.
Yeah, no, and I'll say this real quick. I was low on Quinshon going into the draft process. I was low on him.
Yep.
I'll take that.
I like Quinshon.
I'll take it on the chin
too. Yeah,
take it on the chin. I was the lowest out of the group on him. So props to Quinshon coming back from that whole domestic.
Didn't you like Samson more than him?
Loved Samson. I was high on Samson, but
wow.
Yeah. Anyways, I feel like all the other running backs I've picked kind of have panned out so far. So I'm happy with that, except for Travion Henderson, who we'll talk about in this game. We got the Patriots taking on the Saints here in this one. Sterb, what are your thoughts on this one and our Saints so far?
I mean, Rattler's playing pretty well. And if you told me that like we were 1-4 coming into the season, I'd be like, okay, but what did it look like? Because that was always the question with this team. And honestly, this is probably the happiest I could be at 1-4 for our like long-term outlook that I saw as like actually realistic coming into the season, where if it's like, obviously we could lose by 1 point in every game and then we beat the Bills by 30. That's not realistic. But like Rattler looks pretty good. He's taking what the defense is giving to him. And I think he's really playing like as an extension of Kellen Moore. And we see him be more patient throughout the game. If you look at like his passing chart, it's like, okay, this throw is going 9 yards out to the sideline. And then it's a lot of underneath stuff. Mm-hmm. And then he has the one long throw to Rashid Shaheed, and that's just a gash. And then that opens up everything for the rest of the game. And this New England defense is pretty good. I don't expect Rattler to have like another day like he did against the Giants, which I thought was very good against this New England defense, because once Christian Gonzalez has come back, they've been actually pretty good on the back end. Imagine that. But when New England is on offense, like I really just don't think we have the horses to slow down Drake May right now. Like we don't have the talent on defense. We don't have the speed on defense. I think we're like bottom 3 in pressure rate generated. And Drake has been good under pressure. He's been good not under pressure. And the weapons that he has like aren't top tier, and the offensive line that he has isn't top tier, but he's just killing everyone right now. And I don't really have faith that we're going to be able to stop that. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to pick against the Saints here, but it's Drake May. So that's my guy. So go New England here.
Ty, who do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with New England as well. And the only thing I got to say on this game is I don't know why Mike Vrabel and the Patriots are allergic to playing anyone that's a rookie. Kyle Williams, Efton Chisholm, Travion Henderson, they had so much buzz in the offseason. I know Chisholm's an undrafted guy, but they had all this buzz. Chisholm's the next Edelman. Kyle Williams looks so good. Travion's a dog. I mean, we have Antonio Gibson getting 6 carries before Henderson touched the field. What the hell are we doing?
And multiple Ramondre fumbles. And one again this week, yeah.
And Gibson tears his ACL, Stevenson fumbles, and we still got Stevenson getting 2 yards per carry, getting a touchdown run.
I think they want to see, it's like, okay, Drake, what can you save us from? That's literally how it feels.
Imagine how good this team could be if he had a running back that wasn't dog shit. Oh my God. I'm praying. I'm sorry, Saints fan, but I'm praying this is the Travion Henderson breakout game. I have him in a redraft, and it pains me to see him maybe get 10 points if he's lucky to get a touchdown. So with Gibson, unfortunately, down for the season, and Stevenson sucking, Travion Henderson, please. Go Pats.
Yeah, I just because you both went the Patriots, if one of you guys went with the Saints, I would have felt more comfortable going with the Patriots, but got to come up the scoreboard here a little bit possibly. I'm going to go with the Saints. I think it'll be a close game, maybe until the end. Maybe it's like one of those games similar to the Bills where it's close and maybe the Patriots pull away. I think the Saints defense, they did show something last week, and it was that the young secondary is at least decent. And that's what I really wanted to see as a Saints fan going into last week is, Kool-Aid McKinstry, I think he's struggled really badly, gets 2 picks, and is the NFC defensive player of the week. So that's something positive. I don't know if he can maybe do that against these receivers. If he does it against them, then that's a lot more positive. You got Quincy Riley playing well, Jordan Howden, and Jonas Sanker, who's playing like a top 10 rookie in the league right now. He's playing really, really well. Those are all things you want to see. If the offense can emulate what they did last week, just similar success, I think they have a chance in this game. They have to score in the red zone, and I think they'll maybe get 1 or 2 in this one against the Patriots. So I'll pick the Saints, but I do think it'll be a close game, and I wouldn't be I'm not going to be shocked if the Saints don't win, but I'll pick the Saints here for this one. Moving on to the most exciting 4:00 game you will ever have on your TV. We got the Titans taking on the Raiders, led by Geno Smith. Ty, what are your thoughts on this one? Is it exciting or what? What's going on?
Why'd you give me this one?
Oh, actually, this is my game. I was supposed to take this one.
This is not my game. Don't give me this.
No,
one.
That was a personal attack.
I'll cover it.
I'll
cover it.
That was disrespectful.
Yeah, I completely forgot this was my game. Maybe it's because I didn't want to talk about it. Maybe I just want to throw it
honestly, understandable.
Whatever. But yeah, the Titans get their first win. Was it a deserved win? No, it took a lot of luck, a lot of chance. The Raiders, right? Geno Smith. I called Geno Smith throwing 2 picks last week, and I said that he would get benched. Didn't get benched, just sucked. But I think if he sucks again, if you suck against the Titans and their secondary, who is pretty horrific right now, then you do deserve to get benched. And it could happen this week if they struggle against the Titans, which they shouldn't. If they do, I think Kenny Pickett could really get some playing time. I want to see, Trey Tucker be used some more. I want to see Jack Besh get some run in this game, and he hasn't really been getting any. I want to see Ashton Genty do well. I think all those things will be able to be done. So I'm going to go the Raiders here in this one. If they lose, Geno Smith could lose his job within the next week or two. What do you guys got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Raiders here too. I don't think that there should not be any way, like you said, that they don't, kind of roll over the Titans. They have too much offensive firepower, but they do end up benching Geno. They should go trade for Shadur. That's Tom Brady's boy, so I don't know. It would be interesting, but I'm going to go with the Raiders here.
Add to the Shadur Sanders media cycle. Just add more flame to it. It always needs something. Every day on ESPN, they talk about Shadur somehow. They'll find a way.
Absurd. They're talking about Bailey Zappi being the QB2 over him today. Bailey's
of
app.
course. Of course. They'll find a way just to get clicks. Anyways, Sterb, do you got the Raiders here in this one too?
Yeah, I have the Raiders here in this one, and like, man, the Geno stuff is so disappointing because he was playing at like such a high level last year, and like, man, it just hurts. It hurts to see him play like this because it's like, brother, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, you're actually going to get benched for Kenny Pickett, who sucks. Like, that's insane.
Jake Browning might be the only quarterback worse than him right now.
Let's think. How can I
Jake Browning is possibly the worst quarterback I've ever seen.
Geno's playing.
Geno's not far
equivalent, so
yeah,
I don't know, man. No, Sterb, you were a G lever.
G lever.
I was trying to,
brother. Move to the next game. Why are we trying
to blend the Bo lever?
No.
G lever.
49ers Bucs.
Anyways, yeah, let's move on to the 49ers and the Bucs tie. What do you got in this one?
Yeah, thanks for giving me this game instead of that crap game. Yeah, I mean, we get Mac Jones again, right? Brock Purdy's down. He's looked fantastic so far, and like Sterb said, I think that obviously says a ton about Kyle Shanahan and his ability to coach. Whoever, right? We've seen his entire tenure, right? C.J. Beathard, Jimmy Garoppolo, Brock Purdy, whoever it may be, maybe except for Trey Lance, he's had success with all these quarterbacks back there. I'm a big Mac believer. I think that he's going to get a chance. Not a big Mac believer, but from what I've seen so far this season, I think he's going to get a chance to start somewhere else next year. He could be on a very similar path to the guy he's playing across on the other side, Baker Mayfield. So obviously San Francisco continues to be banged up, but they found ways with guys, and I mentioned this last week, like Kendrick Bourne, who does not suck. He's a decent option, and Mac has got to work with him a ton on the second team offense. So they have some chemistry. McCaffrey got rolling a little bit last week as well. Had a pretty good week, but they're playing a team in Tampa that, man, Baker Mayfield is like, he's just a dog. I know Sterb doesn't like him, but he's like
Sterb's hated.
For me, he's playing at a top.
You guys always say I hate Baker Mayfield. I don't hate Baker Mayfield.
You're a Baker hater. It's okay.
There's some hate.
I don't.
But no Bucky this week, right? So Rashad White's back in.
Yeah.
Rashad looked really good last week. One thing I want to see from Tampa Bay is just get Chris Godwin a little bit more involved. He's had a couple catches here and there, but it's been the Emeka Egbuka show, which is fine. But I just think that this offense needs to start to spread things out a little bit more. Get some more guys involved. If you play a team that has a lockdown corner, is Emeka going to be able to? Is he going to get shut down? What's going to happen? Right? We haven't really seen that to this point, but I like Tampa here a lot. I just think that they're playing really well, against the Seattle defense that I think is better than the 49ers last week. They scored 38 points. So I think this could be a close game. I think Matt can keep them in it, like he has every single other game. But I just think Tampa won't fumble away the game, quite literally, like the Rams did, right? Kyron Williams lost them that football game. I don't think Tampa Bay will do that. So I'm going to go with the Bucs here.
I'm going to go with the Bucs too. Not much to add. I will say that the punch to the fumble was crazy, hitting the guy hitting Kyron in the face first. Got knocked out, maybe. No, he didn't get knocked out, but shocked, and then just dropped the ball, which he's had fumble issues. He's got to clean it up, but he's still solid back. Anyways, I'll go with the Bucs here. Sterb, your thoughts?
Yeah, this is one where like both teams are pretty significantly banged up, and like I think Brock Purdy got ruled out today, but like this might be like a game time decision for me. Like looking at both the injury reports, but for now I'll go Tampa Bay just because like I think Nick Bosa being out is like it's kind of been patched up because their schedule has been pretty light, and then they got like I wouldn't call it a lucky win, but the lack of Nick Bosa didn't really show in the Rams game. And I think it is going to show here because like Baker has been like one of the best quarterbacks at throwing deep. Emeka Egbuka is good for a 50-yard reception every single week. And there's just no way they're going to get any pass rush on him. So
Stafford lit these guys up too.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to go Tampa Bay, but depending on the injury report, like I might have a different pick set in for this one.
Moving on to this is an atomic bomb versus a coughing senior here. We got Joe Flacco taking on the
He did it
Green
once.
Bay Packers.
Don't
He
disrespect him.
did do it once. But Sterb, can he do it again? What are your thoughts on this one?
No, he's not going to do it again. So basically, like, I don't understand the Bengals, man. Like,
Yeah.
their biggest problem was that, like, Jake Browning, he's terrible, right? But his absolute worst attribute is that when he's under pressure, he's absolutely terrible. He's 32nd out of 33 quarterbacks under pressure. And then they get the only quarterback who's worse under pressure than Jake Browning. It's actually ridiculous. Like, I think Jake Browning was he's at negative 0.80 under pressure EPA. That's insane. That's like 3 negative MVPs. That's basically like, it's about like a third down interception on average, or like a sack on second down on average. Like that's his average EPA per dropback. And then Joe Flacco is at negative 0.85. And like, I get like what they're trying to do is like Joe Flacco, if you think about like, he likes to play in the gun a lot. He likes, kind of like a more stagnant offense, kind of like Burrow does. But like, they haven't been good at that this year. Like, without motion, they're terrible. And then, when Green Bay's on offense, like, I really just think it's going to be like Jordan Love hits like 2 shot plays, and then it's just Josh Jacobs for the rest of the game. And then the Bengals aren't going to be able to catch up because like this defense is horrible. The O-line is horrible. Even if the weapons are good, Green Bay's pass rush is going to get there in time on Joe Flacco, where it's not going to matter. And Flacco against the Packers, he had an EPA per dropback of negative 0.29, which is a negative MVP again, essentially. Even though they won that game, like, it was on the back of their defense. So this is a lock of the week, by the way. I don't know if that's spoiling it when we're going to do those, but yeah, I'm locking Green Bay here. Yeah,
when everyone talks about Joe Flacco possibly doing it, the Browns rode their defense and Jordan Love's coattails to winning that game. So the Browns won, but the Bengals they don't have a shot. They don't have a shot. And the crazy thing to me was, right, you have a bad O-line. You didn't even try to get like a slightly mobile quarterback. Like,
that's
Joe
what I'm
Flacco,
saying. It makes no sense.
He can't move in this situation. So the Packers are going to win this one. If the Packers lose this, then Hammer might honestly never show his face out in public ever again. But Ty, what are your thoughts?
Aiden O'Connell's out there, man. He needs his chance. Charlie Jones is on this team.
Go Boilermakers!
All right,
the Purdue propaganda being
Tracy back this week,
sprinkled in.
It's going to be Green Bay. Green Bay should do exactly what Denver did, right? The formula that Sterb said: score a couple touchdowns, run the ball the rest of the game.
Yeah,
Cincinnati, they're not going to score, right? I mean, I don't even know how they scored as many points as they did against Detroit. Like, I have no clue what the hell went on in that game, but yeah, Green Bay by a mile here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The end, they had a couple DBs hurt, and
Jamar on the deep ball,
and we'll move on. We'll move on to that game with the Lions taking on the Chiefs in Kansas City. The Chiefs obviously lost another game. They're now 2-3, which, according to the prophecy, I didn't pick the games properly. The games weren't right, but the record still stood through 5 games. So the prophecy is still alive for the Chiefs, 9-8 pick. Anyways, Lions end up winning their game against the Bengals in a game where it was closer than I think people expected. Obviously, that the line to me didn't make any sense for that game. It was like 8.5. The Lions were favored over the Bengals. It should have been 15.
Crazy.
But yeah. I think the Lions, right, they're still a juggernaut on offense. They can score at will whenever they want. I think the Chiefs on the other side, their offense is solid, but without Rashee Rice, you see them struggling at times, just communication, things like that. I think Hollywood Brown's been playing well. I think Hollywood Brown's been, kind of getting back into the level he was when he first entered the league. Not as much of a deep ball threat, but a possession receiver that Patrick Mahomes has seemingly relied on third downs and things like that when they need a play. Travis Kelce obviously has lost a step, but is still slightly reliable. Like, the connection between him and Mahomes are still there. The Lions, their defense, a little bit banged up. Aiden Hutchinson's still a dog. Muhammad's a dog on the opposite side of Hutchinson. I think the Lions come into Kansas City and win this game. I just think the Chiefs, they've struggled in big moments this season, which is something we haven't seen them do before. And I think that's the big decision in this game. I think, right, we saw them, Travis Kelce in the end zone, tip a ball up for an interception. Then this past week, Mahomes throws a pick six in the red zone. Like, these are the moments that they need to convert on, and the Lions are going to be scoring too many points. If they make a mistake, I think the Lions can win this game by more than a touchdown. I think the Lions win this one in Kansas City. Ty, who do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Detroit too. I just think like the biggest issue for me with Kansas City, and it has been for a couple weeks now, is like they're not running the football. Like Pat Mahomes continues to be their leading carry like week in and week out. And honestly, this past week, Hunt and Pacheco didn't even look bad. I think Pacheco averaged like 7 yards a carry and Hunt had like 5, or maybe it was vice versa. Right. But they only gave them 7 carries each. Like, you need to run the football more, right? You don't have Rashee Rice. You don't have these fantastic weapons, right? You have Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown in like year 8, 9, right? He's kind of washed. You know, you said he's gotten better, but he's not the Hollywood Brown that he was when he first came to the league, right? Xavier Worthy's banged up. Kelsey's lost a step. Your leading receiver is Tyquan Thornton, and you're running the ball 14 times.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing? Like, I struggle with this team. You know, if they had concerns about Hunt and Pacheco, Brashard Smith has looked pretty good, especially in the pass game. Give him some more carries. You know, just try something at this point. Mahomes can't be your leading rusher, especially not against a team like Detroit. So I'm going to go with Detroit here.
Yeah, it's not optimum. Sterb, who do you got?
Yeah, I got the Chiefs here. I believe the Chiefs are at home, right? In Arrowhead is like, you know, you get golf in an outdoor game, you know, at Arrowhead, like it gets a little shaky. Like the splits between like home and away, like for a lot of quarterbacks, like don't really mean a lot, but they're so significant with golf that like it means a little something clearly over this large of a sample size throughout his career. I really think this pass game is going to get going with Xavier Worthy coming back. He had 33 routes and 9 targets last week. I think they're going to start getting him going. And then I honestly think that last week, Jenks, I know you got the pick swapped up. I think you're just hating on my Jags a little bit, a little Duval disrespect. I think the Jags losing to them really isn't that bad, because that defense, it's been very, very good. As I mentioned earlier, they've been turning the ball over like crazy. And this could go either way. Sure. I think I have these teams about 2 or 3 spots within each other in my power rankings right now. And I'm just picking KC at home. If everyone's going to be on Detroit this game, I'm happy either further digging the hole that I'm in, or trying to claw my way back up to the leaderboard. So
I'll say this: last time these guys played in Kansas City, Detroit won.
Yeah, what was it? It was kickoff last year, right?
2 years, 2023.
2023, yeah. Yeah. No,
Chiefs are due is what I'm hearing.
And I will say this: I think the Chiefs should have won.
The golf outside hate. That's all it is.
The Chiefs should have won this past game, right? I think they were given a bunch of opportunities to win.
Duval.
Duval.
The disrespect is crazy.
Moving on from the Jaguars and Chiefs discussion. Obviously, 2 of us picked the Lions, 1 of us picked the Chiefs. I think it's pretty even. I feel like that's kind of what people are at too. The Lions are underdogs in this game, which is
absurd,
crazy. I mean, it makes sense because the Chiefs are home, right? Usually the home team will get a couple points, but it still seems crazy to me. Anyways, moving on to Monday Night Football. We got 2 again. It's back for week 6, which seems a little bit crazy. I feel like way more Monday doubleheaders than we've had in the past seasons. But Ty, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, disappointing loss for Buffalo last week against New England. I think they just made a lot of bonehead mistakes that Buffalo typically does not make. And lucky for them, they get a team in Atlanta who has kind of made bonehead mistakes all season long, right? I mean, look at the Carolina game. That was horrendous. And there's highs with Atlanta, there's lows with Atlanta. And the highs are very high and the lows are very low, right? And there's no in between. And this team, I think the formula for this team to win, especially against a team like Buffalo, is run the ball with Bijan. Buffalo's run defense is not great. If you run the ball with Bijan and Algier, you give yourself a chance. I think Buffalo is like in the bottom 5. I know Miami's the
They're
worst
low.
by far.
They made
Miami's terrible.
They made Kendre Miller look. I mean, Kendre Miller is good, but they made him look really good.
Right. So, Atlanta's only chance is to run the football because Penix hasn't looked great either, right? Like Penix has been, I think he's been the up and down with this team is just the fact that he, he'll have a good game and then he comes out against Carolina and I think he threw 2 pick sixes, right? He just fell flat on his face. Yep. So, they are coming off the bye. They'll be well rested, but, Buffalo, I think, I just think, coming off a loss and the way that they lost against New England, this is their bounce back game, right? This is their get right game. I'm going to go with Buffalo. I trust Josh Allen. He's my MVP right now. I think even though their defense is horrendous, their offense is so good that, they win football games like this. So I'm going to go with Buffalo.
Yeah, I got the Bills. I'm not picking the Foul Clowns to beat them. Just can't. I can't do it. Sterb, who do you got?
Yeah, I got the Bills as well. I feel like you guys covered this one pretty well.
Yeah, they're the better team. Foul Clowns. Michael Penix, he's got to show up. He's got to show some competition in this one just to make him seem decent this year. He's underperformed for sure. Moving on to the second Monday Night Football game, we got the Bears taking on the Commies and Bill in Washington, D.C. Sterb, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, so when Chicago's on offense, the Washington defense last week, I don't think was really that impressive because, like I mentioned earlier, you're playing against an XFL, CFL offensive line in the Chargers. It's you can do whatever you want against the Chargers offense right now if you have a mediocre D line, which I think they do. They have some pocket pushing type guys. You have Von Miller, obviously, but for the most part, it is kind of like in the Saints mold where they push the pocket. They're not super bendy or anything. But then, they if you're just looking at the box score, they allowed the Chargers to score 10 points. But if you watch the game, it didn't really feel like that. It kind of felt like they were being taken advantage of at some points, but then just a couple few key sacks or few key plays that don't really feel translatable to other offenses than the Chargers were being made. And then I'm also watching how much bully ball can Rome Odunze play. I think he's had a very, very good season. And I think now that they've had an early bye, he's kind of he's out of the national discussion or whatever. It kind of feels it's the Woody meme of him dropping Buzz or Woody in Toy Story. Rome Odunze has been absolutely fantastic. So I'm looking to see how well does he do against this Commanders defense that really hasn't played all that great up until this point. And then when Washington's on offense, this rushing attack is very, very good. We saw the Bill breakout game this past week. He leads the NFL in rushing yards over expected, yards after contact per attempt, and yards per carry. That's absolutely insane, even if it is not on a workhorse load. I think he's going to go absolutely nuts in this game, if I'm being honest. And then I know Ty was mentioning that the Dolphins' run defense was absolutely horrible, and it was you're saying the Dolphins and then the Bills were both bottom 5. Chicago is right down there with Miami. They're allowing 164.5 rushing yards per game, which is 31st.
Not great.
And they're allowing 6.1 yards per carry, which is dead last by a good margin. So yeah, if you got Bill, fire him up this week. I don't think you need me to tell you that. But I really think Washington's pretty much just going to run the ball pretty much the entire game on Chicago. And then Chicago is probably going to have to play catch up. And I don't think they're going to score every drive. And I think the rushing offense on Washington is too good right now, and they're just going to run out this game and get the win.
Yeah, give me the Commies in this one too. I think Bill, he's ascending really, really quickly. They should have started him, using him this much in the start of the season, and kept using him. He's been a top 5 efficiency running back in the league in his small amount of touches. So I think that continues. Ty, who do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Commies here too. I think Jaden Daniels' second game back, he'll be a little bit more comfortable and they'll get rolling on offense. Breaking news. Greg Newsome just got traded to the Jaguars for Tyson Campbell. A little Browns Jags trade.
Good.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't think Tyson Campbell's very good at all. I've never thought he was good.
Yeah,
him being paid at like a top 10 corner level was crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, he had like that one good.
How old is Newsome?
Newsome's like 25, I think 26. He's young.
Yeah, he's younger, right?
He's pretty young.
I think he was not going to resign in Cleveland. That's probably why they wanted to trade him. And then,
is it straight up?
He was
Tyson Campbell and a 2026 7th from the Eagles for Greg Newsome and a 2026 6th from the Jets. So pretty much straight
up.
Straight up. And he was limited today in
actually
practice
6
too.
from the Jets. 6 from the Jets.
That's pretty high. Yeah, it's basically a fifth.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like this for the Jags a lot.
Yeah, it's a nice move for them. I think the Browns, it's an interesting move for them. I don't see why.
Newsome was going to walk. I think he was going to walk at the end of the offseason, so it's better get something.
Contract year.
Yeah.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, they know they're not. They're in a rebuild too. Like they have a lot of youth right now. They're just trying to. Yeah, they don't have anything to play for. So I guess it makes sense in that fact, but it kind of sucks losing a talented player. But anyways, moving on from our picks into our rapid fire discussions for the week. This week we added a new segment. Instead of announcing our locks or underdogs previously while we're doing the picks, we're going to do a snake draft, announcing, kind of going through who picks who. That way our teams are different each game and we're not tying, things like that. So getting it right into the week 6 week 6 underdog and lock snake draft of the week. We got locks right worth +2 points if you get it right, -3 if you get it wrong. Underdogs +3 points if you get it right, -1 if you get it wrong. I'm at 7 points. Sterb is at 7 points, and Ty is at 13 after a good week, and I had a really, really bad week here. Ty, you won the locks last week, so you get to pick where you want in the snake. Do you want to start, second, third? Your choice.
Yeah, a lot of pressure, but give me 1-1. Give me 1-1.
Okay, Ty's got 1-1. Sterb, you want 2 or 3?
Give me the second spot. Give me the second spot.
Okay, I'll take the turn then. Ty, who's gonna be your first pick? You get a lock or an underdog?
Yeah, my first pick, I'm gonna go with an underdog. I wanted the first pick because I don't really think there's a lot of underdog picks that I love a lot. I'm gonna go with Seattle over Jacksonville as my underdog pick of the week at 1-1.
Yeah, I'll Sterb. Who do you got?
I'm seeing that as -110 both ways.
On where? On ESPN, it was they were the underdog the other day.
Yeah,
I made the pick.
It might have changed.
Oh yeah.
Anyways,
I still take it. I'd take it.
Yeah, we'll take that.
They screwed me.
Yeah, they're away. They're away. It'll count. It'll count.
That counts as a loss, right? -3 for Ty, right? -5. I'm hearing.
You need it. You need it, Sterb. You need the points.
I do need it. We both need it. I'm gonna pick the Packers for my lock at the 1-2.
I love it. You know why? Because I get the Detroit Lions as my my underdog pick is my first pick. My second pick, I'm gonna go with the Denver Broncos being my lock. My first lock, I think that's a guaranteed W there. Anyway, Sterb, your second pick, underdog or lock? Who do you got here?
Man, this is tough. Going off the dome, I'm probably. Oh man, I'm between 2 underdogs right now, but
you got 2 up here. Yeah, you did pick a couple.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna lock up. I'm gonna lock up the Rams at the 202.
I don't mind it. Ty, 203. Who do you got?
Is it my pick?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you're the turn. You're the turn again here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who did you pick? Who was your second pick?
Me?
You picked Denver.
Denver.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot you're. Oh yeah, you're the 3. He's the 2. Okay. My other lock of the week. I'm gonna go with the Colts over the Cardinals.
Okay. And then you need an underdog here at the turn. So who's your underdog going to be? Or wait, no, your second lock. Sorry, you picked
other lock. And my other lock is going to be It's going to be – this is tough. I'm going to go with Philly over the Giants.
Damn, that was going to be mine. I don't mind. I think that's a good pick. Sterb, who's your second lock? Wait, you need
This is my underdog.
Yeah, you need an underdog. That helps me.
Yeah.
I like it.
I mean, you don't have any underdogs left, do you, Jenks?
Nope.
Yeah, so I can talk through my process here. I'm between San Francisco and Cleveland. San Francisco has better odds.
You got to take.
However,
I think you got to take.
I don't know what the injury report's going to look like. And Brock Purdy's out.
This is true.
Probably not great.
Am I riding with McCorkle this week?
Or Dylan Gabriel? I feel like one's better than the other here, man. I don't know. I'm going to ride with Myles Garrett, man.
I'm sorry. I have to pick against Pittsburgh again. I'm sorry, Pittsburgh. But yeah, I'm going to go Cleveland.
I'm going to lock up Buffalo against the Falcons. I like it. I think Buffalo can bounce back after a tough loss in division. So that'll do it for our draft. Moving on to the fantasy sleepers of the week. Ty, who's your fantasy sleeper of the week going to be?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a little 2-for-1 play here. It's going to be Hassan Haskins and Kamani Vidal. The Dolphins have allowed 871 rushing yards. That's 150 more than the team in 31st place right now. Obviously some bye weeks. But, we saw them get lit up by Rico Dowdle last week. It seems like Haskins and Vidal are set for a pretty even split. Haskins might have a little bit of the edge. But I think both these guys, they're both projected around like 9-10 points right now. I think you can feel pretty comfortable, with bye weeks, with the injuries right now, putting them in your flex, or if you're in a 2 flex, and expecting a 10 to 15, point range. The Dolphins are currently allowing about 20 fantasy points per game to running backs. So 10 for each of them. I think, especially with the way the injuries are right now, you would feel pretty good about saying, okay, I can get 10 points out of a back right now. So I think Hassan Haskins and Kamani Vidal are both startable this week.
It's a solid pick. Sterb, who do you got?
All right, this is actually perfect. Before that, I was going to ask you guys this anyways. Do I start Kamani Vidal against Miami, or do I start Charbonnet against Jacksonville?
I would have gone Kamani.
My running back 2 spot is it's looking rough right now.
It's tough.
Let's just say that.
That's not great. So is Charbonnet going to be? I would go Vidal. I would go Vidal there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm doing it. I'm starting Vidal. All right. Anyways, my fantasy start of the week is going to be Xavier Worthy. Like I said, he led the team in routes. He led the team in targets last week. 33 routes, 9 targets, like I mentioned earlier. And the Lions secondary is completely banged up. Like Tyrion Arnold, I think he's going on IR. Kirby Joseph didn't practice today. Brian Branch was a limited participant. And DJ Reed is also on IR. And it's the highest game total of the week at 52.5. Like I do think that this is like a smash spot for really both offenses, because they're going to have to keep up with each other. Because like both defenses have been spotty, and now this Lions defense is banged up. And if we do have like that Lions attack it feels like they can't be stopped, that is going to lean more pass happy for KC, even if we want them to run the ball again. It might not really go that way game script, even if it, constitutes for that. So I'm going to go Xavier Worthy here. I have to play him against him in the same week that I'm starting Kamani Vidal. So pray for me. But yeah, I'm going Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, my sleeper of the week is going to be Matthew Golden. I think against this Bengals defense that's 29th in passing yards a game, I think he has a real shot to kind of come alive. I think he's kind of been held back by the passing offense for the Packers. They've been spreading the ball around a lot. Romeo Doubs suddenly became their red zone target out of nowhere, and Tucker Kraft is a really good target for them as well. But I think they've been wanting to get him more involved, and I think this is the perfect defense to really just kind of give him some throws, give him some targets, more than they have in the prior weeks, and also a couple deep balls as well. I think have a really good opportunity for this week as a possibility. So give me Matthew Golden here. Moving on to our hot takes, Ty. What is your hot take of the week going to be?
Yeah, I think Ted McMillan, 150 plus receiving yards, and he gets his first touchdown of the season. I think Dallas obviously has the worst passing defense in the NFL right now, allowing about 1,500 yards thus far. They have been, Justin Fields almost threw for 300 yards against them. So I think, I think Ted has a big game. He's getting a ton of targets. I didn't really realize he's had like 8 to 10 catches every single game. He had one 100-yard game. I think this is a week for him that he can really really go off against this team, and they need him to win.
Yeah, they definitely do to have any shot in this one. Sterb, what's your hot take going to be?
I'm going to go with Bill. Bill getting 150 rushing yards and a touchdown at least against Chicago. They can't stop the run, like I've mentioned before. 6.1 a carry. Bill averages 6.2. That's a strength against a weakness. Coughing baby versus atomic bomb. However you want to say it. Bill's going off this week. He's probably going to be a top 5 running back in fantasy this week. So
that would be wonderful for me for my dynasty. Yeah. I benched him this past week because he sucked the week before, which was it was a choice. You want to know who I had in front of him?
Mari DeMarcado,
Jerry Jeudy.
Oh my God!
You gotta give it up.
You are a clown.
You gotta give it up, man.
Cut that man. He is garbage.
Yeah, so he's not seen the lineup again. All right,
he's ruining your team.
I know he's
ruining your life.
He's on the bench.
It would literally be better for you if you cut him, because then you won't have to worry about starting him and him disappointing you.
He's a worry.
Trade him. Trade him for a 29 third.
I don't even know if I could get that for him. That's the sad part. Anyways, my hot take of the week is going to be that Quentin Johnston has a monster. Actually, yeah, I wanted to go AJ Brown, but that's a Sunday night or Thursday night game. And I won't be able to get this clip out for Thursday, but I will go Quentin Johnston. You guys said 150 for yours. I'm going to go with 150 yards for Quentin Johnston and a touchdown. I think that's very doable. Another one would be, I think Josh Jacobs could have 3 rushing touchdowns. Like you said, Sterb, I think he's a guy that, this is a game where they can just run the ball after they score a couple touchdowns, and that Cincinnati defense isn't the best at defending the run. So I could give 2, maybe 3. I was kind of struggling to actually just pick a hot take, but I'll go with that. I'll go with either of those 2 for my hot take picks this week. Anyways, that'll do it for our Week 6 Picks episode. You guys know where to check us out on social media at Jenks Island, and wherever you get your podcasts at Jenks Island as well. We'll see you guys next week.